My wife, Sarah, and I had been married for 5 years. We were what you'd call a picture-perfect couple. We had a beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, and a life that most people would envy. But lately, something felt off. Sarah had become distant, always glued to her phone, a secret smile playing on her lips whenever a notification popped up. I tried not to be that guy, the jealous husband, so I pushed my suspicions aside. I told myself it was probably just a group chat with her friends, nothing more. One evening, I came home early from work, hoping to surprise her. As I walked in, I heard her laughing in the living room. But it wasn't the kind of laugh she shared with me. It was lighter, more carefree. I peeked around the corner and saw her on a video call with a man. He was handsome, I'll admit, with a charming smile. My heart sank, I cleared my throat, and Sarah jumped, quickly ending the call. "Oh honey, you're home early," she said, her voice a little too high-pitched. "Who was that?" I asked, trying to keep my tone neutral. "Just an old friend from college, Kevin. We were just catching up," she replied, avoiding my gaze. I wanted to believe her, I really did, but the look in her eyes told a different story. Over the next few weeks, Kevin became a constant presence in our lives, even though I'd never met him. His name was always on her lips. Kevin sent me this funny video, or Kevin recommended this great new restaurant. It felt like he was a third person in our marriage, an invisible guest at our dinner table. The late-night texting continued, and she started going out for girls' nights more often than ever before. I felt a growing knot of dread in my stomach. Was I losing my wife? Was our perfect life just a facade? I knew I had to confront her, but I was terrified of what I might find out. The breaking point came on our anniversary. I had planned a romantic evening at home. I cooked her favorite meal, bought her favorite flowers, and even got the expensive bottle of wine she loved. But when she walked in, she barely noticed. She was on her phone, as usual. "Sarah, can we please have one night without your phone?" I asked, my patience wearing thin. She sighed dramatically. "It's just Kevin. He's having a tough time," I snapped. "I don't care about Kevin. I care about us. It's our anniversary, and you're more interested in talking to him than to your own husband." Our argument escalated. Voices were raised and hurtful things were said. Finally, she dropped the bombshell. "Maybe if you were more like Kevin, I wouldn't need to talk to him so much." The words hit me like a physical blow. More like Kevin. The man I'd never even met. The man who was slowly poisoning my marriage. The silence that followed was deafening. I looked at the woman I loved, and for the first time, I saw a stranger. The romantic dinner sat untouched on the table, a cold testament to the growing distance between us. That night, I slept on the couch, the space in our bed feeling as vast and empty as the chasm that had opened up between our hearts. The next morning, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Sarah walked into the living room, her face pale and her eyes red-rimmed. I hoped, she was going to apologize. I was wrong. "I spoke to Kevin last night," she began, her voice cold. "He's very upset about how you acted. He thinks you're controlling and jealous." I just stared at her, speechless. Was this really happening? "He said," she continued, taking a deep breath, "that for us to move forward, you need to apologize to him." Apologize? Apologize to the man who was actively trying to ruin my marriage. I actually laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "You can't be serious, Sarah. You want me to apologize to him?" "I am serious," she insisted. "Our friendship is important to me, and your attitude is threatening it. Kevin is a good friend, and you're treating him like a villain. He feels uncomfortable. You need to call him and tell him you're sorry for your behavior." I felt like I was in a parallel universe. My wife was standing in front of me, defending another man, and demanding that I, her husband, apologize for feeling threatened and hurt. "No," I said, my voice firm. "Absolutely not. I will not apologize for being upset that my wife is prioritizing another man over our marriage, especially on our anniversary." She looked at me with pure disbelief. "So that's it? You're choosing your pride over our relationship?" "No, Sarah," I replied, my heart breaking. "I'm choosing my self-respect. The question is, who are you choosing?" She stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her. I was left alone in the wreckage of what was once our happy home. The demand for an apology wasn't just about Kevin anymore. It was a symbol of how far we had drifted apart. She was no longer my partner, my teammate. She was on a different team, and I wasn't even invited to play. I spent the day in a daze, replaying every conversation, every red flag I had ignored. I loved my wife, but the person she had become was someone I didn't recognize, and frankly, didn't like. Was this the end? Could we ever come back from this? I didn't have the answers. All I had was a profound sense of loss and the chilling realization that my marriage might be over. A few days later, I found a letter on the kitchen counter. It was from Sarah. My hands trembled as I opened it. She wrote that she had gone to stay with her sister to get some space. She said she was confused and needed time to think. The letter was full of I statements about her feelings, her needs, her friendship with Kevin. Our marriage, our family, our kids were barely a footnote. There was no apology, no remorse for her actions. Instead, she doubled down, writing, "I hope you'll reconsider your stance and do the right thing for everyone's sake." The right thing. She still meant apologizing to Kevin. It was clear then that she was living in a reality I couldn't comprehend. My pain was an inconvenience to her, an obstacle to her friendship.